Hi student, in this video I will show you to do the symbol question 1, 2, 3 in here, and I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. So the question say express as a product are the same like what asked you to factor. So when they say express as product, it's the same question like factor the following expression. Okay, so we're going to factor number 1. The common factor for 5 and 10 here is number 5. And make sure you know you have to break it into 2 brackets. So number 5 is the rated common factor for both these terms in here. Because the letter Y does not appear in the second term, so the only common factor for these 2 guys is number 5 only. Because 10 can break it, become 5 times 2. So the 5 here, we have a common 5 with this. So we pull out the rated common factor 5. There's no letter because Y is not a common factor. So now in this bracket, we have to put in Y because when we multiply 5Y, 5 times Y, we put them together, which is the same like the first term here. Look at the negative sign. We're going to put down the negative sign. What number we put in here to multiply with the 5 out here to get back to 10? Of course, this number 2. And that's it. You're done. That's how you factor it. This expression is expansion. This is condensed. This expand. The arrow go both sides. So sometimes you go backwards. Sometimes you go forward in math. So this is the expression. And this arrow go backward and forward. They are equal expression. Okay? And we don't have to check. This is how we factor, and we don't need to check because let's save our time. We know if we know we're doing right, we don't have to check. It's come with practice. Okay, so let's look at this number 13 and number 26. What is the rated common factor in here? This is 13 times 1. This is 13 times 2. So, of course, the common factor for the number here, again, I'm going to make 2 brackets. So the common factor for the number is 13. That's the rated common factor. Do we have any letter in the same this expression? We have X in this first term. We have Y in the second one. So there's no common letter for this term. So the only number we can pull now again is just number 13. So what is in here we're going to make? Of course, 13 times x squared is 13x squared. So we want to get it back 13x squared. So x squared. Plus, put down the plus sign. This is 26, but this is only 13. So you have to time it with 2 to get 26. So number 2 go in here. So 13 times 2 is 26, this number, left over, right? When you factor it down, when you break it, so the number 2 go in here, so that 2 times 13 is 26. What about Y? Yes, you have 26Y. You want to get back to 26Y as well. So you need to put the Y letter in this bracket. So when you distribute, 13 times x squared is 13x squared. 13 times 2y is 26y. So we're done. That's the second one. Now, the third one, this is number 9, which is 15. If we don't break it down, we don't know what is the rated common factor for these 2 guys. So we break it down. And if I break in 9, I'm not going to put 9 times 1 because we cannot make 9 from here. So I have to do 3 times 3. And this, of course, 3 times 5. So the rated common factor for this number is number 3. So we're going to make it into bracket again. So what is the rated common factor? We can pull it out for these 2 terms is number 3. So put down number 3 in the first bracket. What about the letter? Do we have any common letter? Yes, we have C to power 3 And here we have c to power 2. So we're going to pull down the c as well. Is a common for both terms, right? So we can pull out the common letter is c, but we choose the least power, the smaller power. So c squared instead of c cubed. We choose c squared. Okay. So now what number go in here? Of course, got to be 3. So 3 times 3 is get back to 9. So 3. And you have a c to the power 3. You need a c to power 1 to add with the c to power 2 to make it become c to power 3 back into this one. And put down the negative sign, negative, from here to here. The next number go in here have to be number 5 because 3 times 5 will give you 15 back to 15. So 5. What about the c? You have a c square in this bracket already. If you combine, you get back to 15c squared. Therefore, you don't need to put a letter c in here. Because if you put the letter c in here, when you tie back with this, you get c to power 3. But this term is c to power 2, not 3. So you cannot put a c in here. So that's it, you're done. And that is how you factor the two terms. Of course, the question was getting harder. So I'm going to show you how to factor one term only. One more example only, and this time you will factor 3 terms instead of 2 terms. So this time we do 3 terms. Let's say if you have an expression, I'm going to take one example from here, and this paper will give it to you as a homework for you doing the work. So I'm going to get a most difficult question in here. So I'm going to do minus 12 x squared y to power 3 minus 20 x to power 3 y to power 3 and plus a x squared y 4. Okay, so this is the 3-term expression. We're going to break it down into two brackets to factor this algebraic expression. So let's look at the common factor for the number. This is number 12, this is number 20, this is number 8. What is a common factor? Rate the common factor. We don't know until we break it down. So this one, that's why I told you, if you remember multiplication table, you will do quick. So this, I can make it like 4 times 3. And why do I choose 4 times 3 instead of 6 times 2? Because I know I don't have a 6 in this term. I also cannot make a 6 in this term. So I'm going to choose the product, which is up here. We have on the rated in all of them. So 4 times 3. This one could be 5 times 4. So 4 times 5. And this one 4 times 2. So you see the greatest common factor for all 3 of them is number 4. It appears in all 3 of them. Number 4. Now let's check the letter. So I'm going to pull out number 4 as the greatest common factor. 4, 4, 4. Now I'm going to look at the letter in common. We have both x, y. In the first term, second term xy, third term xy. So no problem. We can pull out both 2 letters x and y because they are all common in 3 terms. So, but we have to look at the power for x first. The least power for x is x squared because this is x cubed and this is x squared. So the least power is x squared. So we're going to pull out x squared. And I'm going to put in bracket, the first bracket. So now what about the y? The least power for this on 3 term is y to the power 3, not y to the power square, not y to the power 1, it's y to the power 3. Because this is y3, y3, y4, so we choose y3 instead, y to the power 3 I mean. So that's it, that's the rate, the common factor in the first bracket. So make sure it equal, right? This equal this. Now I'm going to put another bracket. I'm going to open another bracket. So what number I put here to get back to 12? 4 times 3 is 12. And it's supposed to be minus. So I'm going to put minus because this is minus side. So watch for the side as well, okay? So this is minus. Positive times negative is negative. Negative 3. You also can put the negative in here as well. Instead of put in here, as long as negative times positive is negative. So usually we pull out the negative outside. So I'm going to put negative, okay? So negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. X squared, I have x squared. Y3, I have y3. So only number 3 multiply, we'll get back to the whole thing here, first term. Now, put down the negative, but watch for it. This is negative. So if you pull out a negative here, in here, instead of negative, it has to become positive. The reason, because negative times positive will get back to you this side correctly. Otherwise, you will have an incorrect sign. So got to be negative times positive to get back to negative here. So this will be 20, so 4 times 5, so I'm going to put in here 5. X to the power 3, so I need x to the power 1, so that when I tie, I got x to the power 3 like this. So x squared times x1 is x to the power q. So I need to put an x letter in this term. What about the y? I have y to the power 3 already. I have y to the power 3 in here already. When I combine, I distribute, I got the y to the power 3 because I have to put them together, right? 4 times 5 is 20, x squared times x1 is x3, and y3 I have to attach to it. So the second term doesn't have a y in here. Now, the next one is positive, and this is negative, so I need a negative because negative times negative will get back to positive. So this is a difficult question. But that is Math 10. It's in our curriculum, BC curriculum. So negative times negative is positive. I'm going to put down the 2 because, of course, we have 4 times 2, so this has to be 2. The 2 from here go in here, 2, so that 4 times 2 is a. X squared and already in here, so I don't need to put x squared in here. Y here is y to the power 4, but here I have y to the power 3, so I have to put a y in here so that y1 times y3 get back to y4. And this is my 2 bracket of factor. So I chose the most complicated question from this paper and to show you before I upload this paper for you to do. So watch for it. I'm going to end our lesson here. And you can rewind my video again and again, over and over until you understand this topic. Make sure you have to understand the topic, and you have to be familiar with that by practicing your homework. I'm going to upload 2 homework here for you, and I strongly suggest you do all of them. Do not miss any question. I will upload the solution for you as well, so you, after you're done, you can check with your solution for these 2 papers. I'm going to upload these 2 papers to you. I'm going to tie them in a Google document, and on what you do is edit them. So that will be your homework for this week. But watch on the video from my own video from the YouTube I upload for you and from the StudyForge website. and practice on your own. So good luck, student. I'm going to end the video right here. So remember this expression equivalent to these two brackets, tie them together. Okay, now in the past you learned how to multiply polynomial. So when you distribute, you multiply these two brackets. That is a lesson, previous lesson we learned, multiply polynomial. Now you learn how to break it down in the two expression. So when you multiply, you know that it get back to you the previous expression. So you can move forward and you move backward. So from here to here, if you time this, which is the previous lesson we learned multiply polynomial, we get this back to this expression. So now you move. So before you go from expand to condensed expression to a simplified expression, now you go backward from a condensed simplified expression, break it back to the expansion.